Save St. Paul's today. A group of people set up camp outside the historic church on Broadway, hoping something can be done to save the landmark that currently is set to be demolished.
I spent the day looking at the church's history and trying to determine what the owner plans to do next.
Yeah, I like preserving heritage.
Yeah. Say no to demo, save our history. These just some of the messages on display from a group of people hoping to protect St. Paul's German Evangelical Church on East Broadway.
We will be gone. These buildings will stay, and so we have to preserve them so that they remain for future generations.
Sadie Iovinco knows a thing or two about preserving landmarks. For the past several years, she worked to restore the old Buchel train depot built in 1898, taking it from this to this.
When you buy these buildings, these historic structures, especially these landmarks with a capital L, you're not just buying a piece of property.
St. Paul's is just that, a landmark with a capital L. Constructed in 1906, it was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1982. It held congregations, weddings, events. But in the decades since it's housed downtown parishioners, the church has been through a roller coaster of events in just the past 5 years alone. In 2020, KY Medical Center Hotel LLC buys St. Paul's and submits these plans, an $80 million 11-story revamp with hotel rooms and apartments. But instead of construction projects, Louisville's online code enforcement system shows thousands of dollars in citations and more than 30 scheduled visits from codes and regs. Then, October of 2024, a devastating fire tears through the church. Broadway was closed for an entire day as fire crews battled the blaze. In the months since the fire, the city says there have been trespassing incidents and no action from the owner to fix, quote, considerable significant safety risks. This week, it led to the city's emergency demolition notice, where the plan was to, quote, take all necessary steps to demolish only the unsafe sections of the structure while making every effort to preserve the historic elements. But today, a new twist. The city says the owner contacted them, submitted their own wrecking permit for demolition. That permit currently is under review. The group working to save the church, hopeful that the building's owner will preserve at least some part of the historic church instead of tearing it to the ground.
So, like on Whiskey Row, we can at least save the facade.
All right, so late this afternoon, I spoke with David Tandy. He's an attorney for the current owner of the church. I asked, is the plan to demolish only those unsafe sections of the church while making sure they can preserve the historic elements, or is it necessary to demolish the entire structure? He said, quote, it is the intent of the owners of the property to comply with the instructions for emergency demolition. I asked about next steps, too. Is that $80 million hotel project still a go? Tandy said, quote, with the fluctuating cost of building materials and higher than desired interest rates, the original proposal for a hotel and apartment complex is still being evaluated.